What's good, gamers and PC enthusiasts? Holy One here, coming at you with my AMD E3 2019 Tech Conference review. So the conference overall was pretty decent, pretty much better than pretty much any other E3 conference they've had thus far, and it's pretty much just a tech. So AMD pretty much rehashed what they did at their other tech conference by saying we're in all this hardware, the Stadia, the Xbox Scarlett, the PlayStation 5, that sort of thing, and how they're going to be renovating PC. Then they also showed off the Ryzen CPUs again, the 3900X, the 3800X, the 3700X, which are all amazing CPUs, which are now able to keep up with Intel's single performance in games. So pretty much they're all on par with each other, and they're on smaller and less power consuming. So good CPUs. They showed off the new lower end CPUs, the Ryzen 5 series, the 3600 and 3600X, which are going for about $200-$250. Really good, and they still have really good gaming performance that are either on par or beats Intel, which, let's get real, AMD's killing it with the CPUs against Intel when it comes to price to performance. And all those Intel fanboys saying, well, they're charging $50 more than the second Ryzen series. Yeah, well, Intel is charging like $200 more, so yeah, I'll take AMD over that. So CPUs looked really good. They showed some gaming performance. They showed, obviously, gameplay of World War Z running on them, and obviously that's a game for AMD hardware, so that was a bit cherry-picked data. Then they finally showed Navi, and mixed feelings on Navi. Navi's going to be, they're going to have pretty much 3 tiers. There's going to be Navi 5700, which is going to compete with the RTX 2060, and it beats the 2060 by probably like 10 frames, and if it comes to Nvidia optimized games, it's probably going to be exactly on par. Unfortunately, that card is more expensive than the 2060 at $379, so that card is not going to be built for the budget gamer, so that's not really going to be competing with the 2060 when it comes to price performance. That card is a waste of money in my opinion. It does have 8 gigs of VRAM over the 2060's 60 gigs of VRAM, but you know, doesn't have ray tracing in it, so there's that. Then they have the 5700 XT, which competes with the RTX 2070. That card beats the 2070 pretty much in every game, or is either on par with the 2070, and it's going for $449, so it's $50 cheaper. And Nvidia hasn't announced anything to replace the RTX 20 series, but I'm going to assume they're going to drop the RTX 2070 to the same price and release like a 2070 Ti or something like that. So, yeah, and then they're all using DDR6, you know, the usual 40 compute units sort of thing like that. Then they showed performance of it. Obviously, they showed World War Z again, and that is an AMD-favored game, so the numbers were skewed in AMD's favor again. They should have showed Metro Exodus and said, hey, look at this game built for NVIDIA hardware, but they did not do that. So I would take this with a grain of salt. So overall, it's cheaper, and AMD announced what they're going to be pushing as their version of ray tracing, which is Fidelity FX, which basically allows you to get better image quality. Like if textures are blurred or something, they're going to show up on the screen without losing performance, as well as image sharpness, which is another thing they talked about. Basically, it's AMD's version of tessellation. And then they took a shot at Nvidia saying, oh, you don't lose performance like the competitors, and I thought that was pretty funny. Then Jeff Keighley, for some reason, came out and showed some games and whatever, and I was like, okay, Jeff Keighley's coming out. Here's some games zoomed in all the way, pretty much like a Digital Foundry video. And then they wrapped up the show by showing a 50th anniversary 5700 XT. I think it's the same as the 449 one, but the difference is this one you can overclock an extra, I think 100 or 150 megahertz if you want to pay that extra $50, which, remember, this card is supposed to be competing with the 2070. Now, when it comes to Navi, yes, I think Navi is barely beating the RTX 2070 performance. AMD should have released this card at $400 or $350, and that that RTX 2060 competitor GPU is way overpriced. That should have been at least $300 to $250. So AMD is overcharging for these cards. Now that I'm saying people they want to get their market share back from Nvidia, they need to drop these cards' prices, and they can't be on par with Nvidia in pricing because they don't have the market share that Nvidia does in the PC market. So now I'm just gonna wait to see. Navi might be in trouble if Nvidia releases something they got cooking, which usually Nvidia does, because they did this with the 10 series. They released the 1080 Ti, and that completely took the smoke out of the Vega release. So Navi is up in the air for right now. And then they showed off the 16-core Ryzen CPU, the 3950X, which looked really good. So overall, the conference was good. The CPUs look amazing, and Navi looks mixed. But basically, to sum it up, you got 3 graphics card choices from AMD with Navi. You have the 5700, which is going to be $379. It's going to compete with the 2060. Then you're going to have the 57XT, which is going to have 2 models that are going to compete with the RTX 2070. And then you have the Radeon 7, which is $700, which is competing with the 2080, which has 16 gigs of VRAM. So pretty much you can't go wrong with either choice. And then AMD also announced less input lag on the monitors, which I really don't care about because I'm not a streamer. So overall, I give the conference a 7 out of 10. It's the best one for E3 so far. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'm going to do a Nintendo conference review tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. This is your boy, Holy One. Oh! Ta!